Yo, what's up, Odd Shopper fam? Chris Ryan here. About to kick off a little series to help improve and educate you to make your gambling more profitable. Today, we are attacking parlays, and I'm going to explain to you why they are killing your bankroll. Let's get to it. All right, let's look at this weekend's NFL. If we add a bet, straight up bet, minus 110, it pays out, we can see down the bottom here, 190. That's about a 5% margin that the bookmaker has, because if there was no margin, this would pay out 200. 50% probability on these minus 110 lines. So we're giving about a 5% edge to the bookmaker. So it's important to understand the maths behind this to start with to show why those parlays are killing us. Now, if we get rid of that and make it a parlay, simple two-legger, add our wager in here. So we can see the 100 is paying out 364. On the balance of probabilities is a 50% chance of hitting. This should be 400, but the bookmaker has to have the margin in there. Once we add a different legs to our parlay, it multiplies the bookmaker's margin. So this is now, instead of being a 5% margin that we had on the single, it's now around about a 10% margin. And this will get worse as we add more legs. We'll add some random legs. This is now a 4-leg parlay. This would pay 1,600 if there was no margin. Okay, 50% chance of hitting each of those legs. Now on this 4-leg one, we're typically going to give up a margin of 20 to 25% because the maths of it are we multiply the edge that the bookmaker has. And as this goes up, we want to add a bigger parlay, as many people like to do. We can see this is now an 8-legger. At an 8-legger, we are typically giving up 40 to 45% margin because it keeps on multiplying. And this gets bigger. You know, lots of people like to do like a full slate of NBA games, the whole NFL Sunday. They'll have 10 bets, 14 bets in their parlay. You do not want to do the maths. I don't want to do the maths on how much of an edge you are giving up to the bookmaker. We want to reduce the edge that the bookmaker has, but the parlays increase, and it makes it so much more difficult to be profitable. If we have a look here at OddsShop, which is a fantastic tool, if you haven't seen it before, I highly advise you to get involved. Links below in the description of this video. It will get you up and running. Now, on OddsShopper, we can see all the different bookmakers. You can see all the different prices, the lines that they're betting. Now, if we were to do a parlay, what we have to do with a parlay, it has to all be with the same book, right? So whilst we already explained how bad they are and the margin can increase from 10 to 20%, it actually will be worse than that. Yeah, it gets worse. Let's see, if we were to try and put together a parlay of some bad teams, for instance. Let's look at the Falcons. Not the worst, not the best. Here, we'd want to be putting this one on FanDuel because we can see that they have the best odds on it. Okay? If we wanted to flip the Falcons into the Commanders at the +6, FanDuel's offering the worst line, so we don't want to do it at FanDuel. Right? Here, we want to be going with Tipico here at -108. So a different bookmaker. And we might as well just go about the worst team playing football at the moment. I don't know what they're doing out in the field, the Giants. Here, beforehand, we wanted to place our first leg with FanDuel. Here, they're offering the worst price. We'd want this to be elsewhere. So we can see when we look at different bookmakers that we want to bet with, we're getting a different price. We can't get top of the market on a parlay because they all have to be at the same book. So that margin that we had originally, which might have been 10% on a 2-legger, 20% on a 4-legger, we might now be giving up 11%, 21%, 22%. So this is why we really want to cut down those parlays. Now you might think, why have they become so popular? Because they really have kind of exploded in popularity in recent years. Parlays, same game parlays, multis they're called in other parts of the world. Part of that reason, there's a bit of FOMO to it. There's a bit of social media clout, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. We can see this one here. It's a 5-leg parlay. Dude wins 14,000. We've got a nice funny meme to go with it. But for every one of these bets that hits at this sort of a price range, there's going to be 3,000 other tickets that are confetti. They've lost. They're looking for 2-minute noodles tonight, okay, for dinner. This is not a realistic outcome, but this is something that makes you think, oh, I can do it too. And there's plenty of them. If you hit one, it seems like you must put it up on social media. Okay, if we look at this little happy fella Lions fan.
I'd like to thank the Vikings, the Panthers, the Dolphins.
You can get where this is going. It's a 15-leg parlay. You can see he's going to be going for a while naming all these things. It hit $23,000 for every one of these bets. Again, 2,000 or 3,000 other tickets that have lost, but it made great social media content. We've got the bottle of champagne in there. Other people look at this and they think, oh, I can do that too. It's the lottery-style dividend. It's a lot of money. But we need to understand that that is not realistic. It's not even close to the norm. These huge leg parlays lose at such an enormous percentage, you can't last for very long betting in this sort of sense. So ideally, the greatest advice here is we want to cut the parlays either down or completely out. If you can just bet single bets, much better, or at worst, cut them down to a two-legger, and that will help increase your profitability in the long run. Just remember, must be 21 years or older to gamble. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Follow me on Twitter at I'mTheBomb82. Slide into my DMs. Hit me up with any gambling questions. Love to have a chat about that sort of thing. That's the end of this short little vid. Make sure you follow next time. Subscribe below. Make sure the odds are in your favor, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace out.